all of these 3 heroes kind of need 6. Rubik the least of them, but AA needs 6 as soon as possible. Same with Storm. So you kind of, when you pick Safely Storm, you kind of want to give him most of experience, but actually it's going to be his mid Storm, so that's better, obviously. A lot better, because now they can just throw the Lycan jungle after a couple levels, so yeah, I didn't think of that. That's obviously.
And a big part is going to be, like, they do have the Radiant side jungle, which is a pretty big advantage oftentimes for the supports because you have that triple pull that is available to you, but that's all dependent on whether or not they actually have a pull in the first place. As you can see, Fnatic went in very early on with Hani having that quick set of boots and then backed up by Boogie Centaur. They went ahead and placed themselves a really early ward that's going to be blocking out that camp.
Yeah, but Misery said it's the scariest thing about the safe lane Lycan with the free farm and a support is that you just automatically, when this Lycan gets some levels, you just go in jungle and you give the support the free experience. So you can have these, if you give some Rasta and some Lycan some uncontested farm on the safe lane, this Rasta, this Lycan, they're gonna get levels up so fast, this Lycan is just gonna go jungle at level 5 or 6.
The battle
so
begins.
just like this game as well, they're probably just gonna, Lycan's gonna go jungle really fast and give AA level 6 or Rubik level 6.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping my eye on FNG right now just because that extra counter ward, he already missed one. And if they don't have that pull available to them, it feels like it's just going to get them so heavily. I do have to say, though, I love the last pick here from Storm Spirit. Feels like he is, well, there is some control offered by the Bane. That's really the only bit of control that they truly have against Dendi Storm Spirit.
I mean, the one thing about this game compared to last game is they have their catch is a lot better on RV. They have Puck and Storm.
Right.
And also, Storm is also very good versus Ember, I think. It's one of the best heroes versus Ember.
Is it because he's able to pick up that fast Orchid, and Orchid silences all strong?
Early game with this Ember, the new build, you have to go Flame Guard, right?
Right.
You pop down 2 Remnants in a team fight, the Remnant's automatically gone. As well as on the laning phase, he's good versus Ember. And also, you can catch the Ember really easily with Orchid. You go the best item versus Ember because Ember wants to go Battle Fury early, right? But Storm goes Orchid, so it's annoying to play this Ember versus Storm when he gets Orchid.
Right, because he's just not a hero that naturally wants to build into a BKB. It gimps his damage so much.
Yeah, that's the main reason, I think.
Right.
Check out Funnick's position.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Look at this guy. He's just hiding himself in the trees. Actually goes for a last hit, and now they ping him out. But he's already got himself to level 2, which increases his survivability by quite a bit in this off-lane situation. But he did have himself a good little time there, just soaking up experience.
But I actually thought that after looking at the lanes and both teams a little bit, I could see that, I felt that Fnatic could actually go offensive and put the Race to Safe Lane Soul in the scenario and just suppress the Lycan's farm. They don't need to do anything crazy down there. They can just like make sure he doesn't get this complete free farm, and at the same time secure the Centaur some fast trinkets and a bit of gold. Because this way, I feel like Navi are getting too much out of their lanes.
But what about the trade-off then? Because you're saying though, like the mid matchup is going to be pretty tough for the Ember Spirit, just because the Storm Spirit constantly spamming out the static Remnant. The main reason he's able to stay in lane so consistently right now is due to the Witch Doctor. Do you think that's a fair trade-off, making, like, basically giving up the Ember Spirit up against 1v1 up against the Storm Spirit in exchange for running the possibility of an aggro trying getting Centaur more farm?
I think it's more important to shut down the Lycan.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine as well. I mean, Ember gets his bottle and then he refills and then he pushes out the lane, or either Storm pushes out the lane to him and he can farm on the tower, or he can push it out himself with Flame Guard. Right. He can do some shenanigans with pulling the creeps to him and stuff. I think it's fine. He will get some stuff. He won't get completely crushed. And like at the same time, I think AA was sitting mid for a little bit too early on.
Yeah, he's been, FNG is actually going to be stacking up, which is a good way for the Storm Spirit to be able to farm up a little bit later on, as he still has some decent AoE. He's obviously not one of those traditional heroes that can clear through stacks. And of course, the Lycan is probably good enough jungler to be able to take advantage of stacks as well. So if they only need one hero to kind of zone out Boogie, there's no sense in Ancient Apparition being in lane if they don't have an opportunity to use that pull, solely because of the fact his second counter ward did not catch that ward.
Yeah, it's because of the pull, obviously, that's true.
Yeah. So our offlaners compared, Funnick has been having a harder time to get to level 3, while he did pick up a fast level 2 ever since. The Bane has been pretty active in forcing him out, but Boogie is in a very similar boat right now, and Puck is actually slightly ahead. Our mid matchup is Dendi, who's currently sitting at 13-6 compared to Matumba Man's 15-1. So considering the fact he's dealing with the dual lane, Dendi's doing a great job and is soon going to be level 6, which is going to be a big advantage, especially since Ember Spirit is such a low level due to the Witch Doctor soaking up half of that experience.
Yeah, I think it's more of a deficit for the Ember Spirit that the Witch Doctor was there at all. It doesn't do anything. Just takes its experience.
And that means, well, Matumba Man at least going to be able to find himself a regen rune in the top lane. The extra security, the rune control from Hani sitting in the mid lane at least gives him that much. But I think you're right, man. I'm waiting for Dendi to pick up his level 6 and just start trashing on this dual lane. As, like, early on, maybe they have some potential kill power if they get a cask and run in and get a chains. But once that ultimate is up, Dendi was already going to be such a big force going into the mid game at this rate, with Fnatic not really having the necessary disables to hold him, excluding the Bane. If he's able to pick up these fast levels over an Ember Spirit, maybe pick up a quick kill on him, this is going to be a very fast Orchid, which is just going to shut down so many of the members on the side of Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, Lycan has a Vlad's 5 minutes in as well. I think like, this is not benefiting Fnatic at all, and I really think they should have gone offensive side because they're not getting anything out of it in any sense. Like Razor would maybe have 5 CS less against Puck one-on-one.
Right.
But nothing less. Like he would still crush the Puck. Puck can't do anything, especially on this lane where Puck is off lane and Razor is safe lane, because there's so much space to run for the Razor to steal his damage. But yeah, I think we're gonna see the Rubik move mid now for the Storm. And they're gonna probably kill this Ember together. And you see it now.
Misery, I love it. You're calling it perfectly, man. Vance Core, it's already sitting here in the mid lane. If they could just get a pull on the Ember Spirit to start it off and then telekinesis follow up, it should be a pretty easy kill with the Witch Doctor no longer being here. He does have the Flame Guard up to level 3, so he's gonna be able to absorb 350 of that magic damage, which still gives them a decent amount of survivability. But with FNG joining this one as well, Ember Spirit runs forward and tries to get a last hit. Dendi will come on.
He saw them quick before, but he still stays.
Yeah, he gets caught. The pullback telekinesis is going to go off. Now the follow-up Cold Feet is going to possibly go off on him. Dendi actually zips himself away from the mass teleports from the side of Fnatic, showing a bit of restraint as he doesn't choose to try and dive in for that kill. Dendi has a little bit of extra lightning just to be able to break the static link and should be able to get himself out, no problem.
Yeah, and Lycan, eventually the Age is going to go bottom and take the experience as well. Lycan just going to farm so much faster with this Vlad's. 5-minute Vlad's, he's just going to go jungle his farm with the stacks as well. And look at the A's walking by. Yeah. The A is running bottom to take the experience. So.
And that means we can now have, as you guys said, FNG can farm up the bottom lane, gets himself some boots, but as well as the all-important Ice Blast, which is going to be the big counter to the Witch Doctor. Big stack is happening right now. The Ancients, the only thing that Centaur really could do that would be kind of effective, but that they have no way to clear through that, actually. I mean, unless they do it as a team or something, until the Ember Spirit has Battle Fury, and we've talked about how late Ember Spirits tend to farm up Battle Fury, and he's already in a very tough lane to begin with.
Yeah.
Jump in, Boogie's gonna be caught out. The Cold Feet should be able to proc here as the cask. Oh, Boogie. He tried to get off the hoof stomp, but Dendi's gonna be the one claiming that first blood gold. Now Matumba Man comes in from the side. Dendi has a little bit of extra mana to blow through. It's gonna be popping some bottle charges as well. Not quite keeping up. He's still getting the burn damage though, and Dendi still managed to get off a full up bottle charge during that time. He's now going to turn onto Matumba Man. They are able to get the kill. Where's the teleports though from the side of Na'Vi, as this deep dive in is not punished whatsoever. Fnatic actually managed to give themselves a really important kill on the Storm Spirit, get Ember Spirit up to level 7, all due to the fact there just wasn't any rotations. I guess namely from the Puck, who would be the main hero.
That was... yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying that was definitely worth it for Fnatic that Ember got the kill on the Storm.
Yeah, it was. I think potentially Rubik should have been the one having a TP there. Puck obviously would have been nice too, but since he's not 6 yet, it's not really natural for him.
Right.
But I think Rubik was farming jungle and getting his level 5 at that point. Or even just taking mid lane, I'm not sure, I didn't see. But
Radiant's
yeah.
bottom tower is under attack.
Well, Denny's now going to be making some movement over to the Ember Spirit, who's been caught by these two supports, and they should be able to burst him down. Matumba Man hoping to get to Boogie, and under the safety of that hoof stomp, but isn't going to make it. Navi have just enough right-click damage to bring him down. And even though primarily it's all like, seems to be primarily magic damage with all this chilling touch plus the Storm Spirit coming in, but they're still able to eat through that shield. Meanwhile, Funnick at the top lane has picked up his level 6, has a bottle and boots on top of that one. You can see the Razor is still doing an excellent job up against the puck, even when his supports have rotated up. He's sitting at 56 and 24. A huge host of denies on his side, while the puck is only 12 and 1. But of course, you look at that, and the Lycan has actually done something very similar in lane. 28 denies on him and 69 CS, which is a little bit higher, but because
the difference is that Lycan is farming while giving the lane up to other people. So
right.
Navi's being way more efficient in the farm right now.
And that means naturally the supports should be able to pick up their level 6s first, though. I take a look at Paz. He actually just grabs his Fiend's Grip from a slight rotation to the mid lane.
I think the reason he got his level 6 so fast was obviously because the mid end they were only dual laning top, so he was getting the dual lane experience top, while Navi was kind of tri-laning bottom.
So rotation into the middle lane. Vanscore almost finishing off his level 6. Ember Spirit kind of threatening him just a little bit, but not going to be going for a dive as he doesn't really know what could be teleporting in. Dendi is going to be finishing off his treads here in a second, and possibly have a TP scroll ready to go to some of these other lanes. What's the plan here from both sides? Like, is Fnatic once again, is it just them kind of sitting back and looking to be able to just farm up and wait until the Ember Spirit and the Razor really hit their mid-game stride?
They need 6 on Centaur.
Yeah. And they need Blink as well on him.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. But then that's the problem, why they didn't go offensive. This is some super alone offlane Centaur. He had almost no help.
Oh, Vanscore gets caught by the Invincible, but at the same time, Funnick gets off a really good Dream Coil. Vanscore gets a slight little dodge there with his Remnant as they stole from the Matumba Man. They're going to be able to get 2 kills off of this one. Huge play there from Vanscore. Baiting out those kills. Posse now comes in with his Fiend's Grip. It's going to go on to Dendi. Trixie, meanwhile, trying to force him down. Dendi may be losing his life. He's stealing all the damage away from Habos, but it's not quite enough to finish up Dendi. Now Trixie will go down as well. 5 heroes survive on the side of Dendi, while 4 go down on the side of Fnatic. What a terrible team fight for Fnatic, as they came so close to finishing off the Rubik and so close to getting the Ancient Apparition and the Storm Spirit. But the end result is they get none of those kills.
That was a disaster there for Fnatic.
Is under attack.
And this now jumps the Ancient Apparition up to that Ice Blast level 6.
I mean, look at Lycan's 6k at 11 minutes.
Vanscore trying to make use of that Remnant. The Ice Blast doesn't hit Boogie, though, and he's not going to be able to use it. Double Edge, maybe not the best ability for Rubik to have, but we'll see if he can make it work in some of those clutch scenarios at the cost of his own life.
Better have that than nothing, right?
That's true.
Radiant's
That's true.
top
25
tower
mana.
is under attack.
So, but yeah, I mean, I really think it all comes down to this laning phase for Fnatic. It's really hard for him to make a comeback right now, because the Centaur is still level 5, 12 minutes in. I think he might be the lowest level in the entire game.
Right.
I mean, another problem with their lineup is this: they can't even come back because they can't even pressure Navi with. They have no push on their heroes. It's hard to push their heroes as well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Navi can just go with some Howl, and they don't even have to force anything right now. Navi, they can just wait for this Orchid on Storm,
Right.
farm some Lycan up, and they can just go 5-man towers.
Yeah, they generally have some really good snowball heroes off of that, where Dendi finds a pick off, and then they turn it into a tower thanks to Lycan. And then as you get that gold, a faster Orchid up for the Storm Spirit, and just builds this snowball against Fnatic, where Fnatic is going to have to be mainly reactive. You can see Potts right now is trying to sit here in the jungle, waiting for some sort of hero to push in the top lane and catch him out. Bottom lane, though, Dendi has already burned through a lot of his mana. Boogie will be taking out from the Ice Blast. Sleep has already gone down on FNG. Telekinesis back, but Vanscore being held by that Fiend's Grip. FNG is going to run himself forward, as he knows he's probably dead. His only hope was to run himself away, but Dendi at least is able to get himself out. So 2 supports in exchange for a Centaur, but it cost Fnatic a lot of rotations at the same time.
Look at the Hasted Ember.
Oh god, the Hasted Ember. Bobby, you said how dangerous this is, and it looks like Funnick is going to be caught by it. He has... not even the teleport can do it for him. 7-4, 13 minutes in. The Hasted Ember Spirit gets them a pick off.
Should he have gone into the jungle there and TP'd. I guess there's like no way for him to survive actually.
Yeah, it would have been really hard.
He jumps after with Spirit regardless of where you go.
Boogie, oh, the sleep into the hoof stomp, but wakes himself up with the wolves. Well played by Havost. And now the Ice Blast actually coming in. It's going to hit on Boogie, but I doubt Havost is going to be able to make a dive, especially with Trixie here. He does have Dendi to back him up now, but it seems a bit too late. Trixie's actually got his full up mech now. And another item, which, I mean, that's obviously what you're going to be building on a Razor here. There's not many other choices. Mech is still good, but it goes to show how efficient this Ice Blast could be against the enemy team, taking out not only the Voodoo Restoration, but now the early mech here from the Razor.
Dire's middle tower is under
I don't know
attack.
what. Right now, Fnatic have to make some really good moves with this Centaur as soon as he gets his blink up. But since he's still 0-3, like, this is going to be some 18-19 minute blink if he just keeps farming right now. It's so hard for the Centaur to come back in this game.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like, there's like nowhere for him to go as well. I mean, he could go and sit up in top lane, but the lane is already pushing into the puck, and if he coils him and one support is there, he dies. Even puck can solo kill him with Ice Blast. So it's a tough game for him for sure.
So they need to be able to find some sort of opening. They do have at least the Stampede to be able to give them an initiation. They could catch out Dendi here in the bottom lane with the Stampede directly into the Fiend's Grip. They just hold them in for a bit of time. That could be a free kill. Stampede goes off. Dendi already making the jump away, though. Is ahead of that Fiend's Grip. Shouldn't be caught now, as all he has to do is burn through a lot of his mana to get himself out of the range of Pos. Top lane, though, we actually have Funnick making the jump away, but it's still enough damage as Matoma somehow burns him out. And that last bit of damage after he jumps to his coil. Back to bottom lane where Pos has actually been caught here by Vanscore. Sleep goes out. Dendi does have enough mana left for a pull. And will be able to finish off Pos here in just another right click. The cast bounces around. Maldic plus the ultimate. And Boogie's coming in for a nice little hoof stomp as well. They're going to go for Vanscore. And I think that's all they can get. Trixie is going to try and chase him down a little bit further. Dendi, the dive going out here. He's going to turn around, try and do as much damage to Trixie as possible. No teleports once again, as instead we have Na'Vi claiming the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Finally, we have Funnick coming in, who throws out the Dream Coil, gets the kill on Trixie, and that gives Funnick a lot, actually. As the Ice Blast in the middle lane, Boogie is going to be hit by that. Havost immediately pops the ultimate and starts being aggressive onto Boogie. Unexpected, as well, it's going to be too late for that Fiend's Grip. Bane, Pod's going to try and throw it down, but he's just going to result in an extra death here for Na'Vi, as it actually turns out really well. I mean, sure, Dendi dies, but that's a Puck who gets a lot of experience out of a solo kill on a Razor and almost has a full-up Blink Decker because of it.
Yeah, Havost is playing really well, putting pressure and farming this game, so he's gonna take a tier 2.
That's just book 3 right there.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Good luck.
Insane.
Fighting that.
And that's
Yeah,
also
I mean, that
point.
whole engagement bottom, it ends up giving Puck his blink, but it starts out Centaur and Bane trying to kill the Storm. But the ward actually saves him. I don't think if they didn't have that ward, I don't think he would have been able to jump out in time.
Right.
Were they smoked there? Or
no.
No, they weren't, but
They
like...
just sat on the side.
But the ward gives them this extra vision. Like,
Yeah.
It might have been Knights, I'm not sure.
Dire's top tower is
But with the
under
Blink
attack.
Dagger up on the Puck, we also have a mech that's going to be finished up here rather soon on FNG. Though it looks like he delayed it for some wards. So going to be a bit more delayed than expected. 2-man Ice Blast in the middle lane, while the rest of Na'Vi, or at least Dendi and Vanscore, are going to take this tier 1 tower in the top lane. Doesn't look like Fnatic are going to make any rotations. They've got no glyph. So Dendi picks up the last hit and gets himself that much closer to the Orchid that he's looking to pick up. Oh!
Yeah, this is gonna be I mean, this is kind of a late Orchid, but 20 minutes is fine. It's not that late, actually. And because they also got the 2 towers mid. Lycan, though, I don't know how they're gonna deal with this book 3.
And they have the Shapeshift already going out. Havost gets outside of range of the Static Link and now turns around to try and catch up to Trixie. But the rest of the team, Dendi, I think, is just a bit too far away to make that big of a jump. Trixie's actually going to try and teleport himself away. Will be able to do so successfully, as once again, nobody from the side of Na'Vi is close enough for a disable. Still, though, they force Fnatic back, and that's enough to take control of this tier 1 in the bottom lane, and maybe even go for a tier 2 as well.
Yeah, they're probably just gonna go on. They have still have the book ready for a little bit longer. And it seems pretty hard for Fnatic to defend this. They're gonna try though, they kinda need to do something.
Fnatic is sitting on the side. Na'Vi keeping themselves very well spread as they know the danger. Ice Blast in this clutch little area. Doesn't actually hit anybody on the side of Fnatic. They back themselves up. Dendi, though, is going to catch Trixie for the time being. Already holding in Boogie as well. They're going to go for Vanscore. Gets off a beautiful hoof stomp and gets themselves a good amount of room. Dream Call is going to cancel that Fiend's Grip farther down. The Tumble Man goes for Vanscore. Not going to be enough. Lonnie Let's lose the Death Ward. And now Na'Vi actually steal the Stampede and are going to be able to get out with that extra bit of movement speed. Dendi's chasing down Trixie. Both ticking low. The Maledict, not quite, no, it whiz actually, is going to die from just the Maledict damage. Meanwhile, Dendi gets out. In the end, though, it looks like just the one kill, well, maybe a secondary one. Fnatic has the orb and will be able to jump to it just in time. And he will successfully get himself out. So they got the tier 1 tower, and they forced all the Fnatic rotations. The end result is they only lose the Lycan, which isn't the worst thing in the world for sure.
Yeah, another thing to note is Dendi got his Orchid now, so 19 minutes, so this Ember's gonna have to be really afraid in lanes. If Storm doesn't show on map, it's hard for him to push the lanes out. Look at top, they're gonna go on the Centaur.
Yeah, the Ice Blast is already on its way, but it's gonna be a bit late. Boogie's already backed himself up. Still, though, you could see Boogie's just desperate to pick up that Blink Dagger, but Na'Vi are correctly keeping in touch with Boogie and going, as long as we can shut down this Blink Dagger, how can Fnatic really get a good jump on us? We're always setting ourselves up to be very spread in team fights, but it makes it even harder when you just have to run it.
FNG said he actually went for the mech instead of going the Ags. This just shows that AA wants to be fighting more than just farming the lanes out, pushing.
Yeah, I like the pickup actually.
Yeah.
I think that's clever.
I like the mech better than going for the Ags in this game.
What do you think about this early Boots of Travel pickup on our Fnatic? Yeah.
I think it's so he can go with Dendi, and it's just hard to, like, they have a bots puck now and AA Blast as well as a Orchid Storm. It's so easy to catch the push.
Yes.
I would say that in this game that you can just afford that kind of build.
Right.
Because they're ahead and mobility is like, it will scale for him, you know, he doesn't need to fight CBs anymore. And
FNG going to be caught as the return kill. Or, well, the Stampede gets him a little bit of extra room, but he's not going anywhere. FNG dies, so the Ancient Apparition exchange for the Centaur. Vanscore is also pushing in the bottom lane and is almost finishing up his straight up Blink Dagger, but maybe not if the Ember Spirit can help it. The Bane's going to find him, Fiend's Grip goes down, and on the side we do have the Lycan, but he immediately runs the other direction as he decides he cannot possibly save his poor support. Amos now comes in, actually is going to be trying to fight, going to go up against Paz, and the sleep onto the melee Necronomicon minion. Not sure if that's what you really wanted there, Paz, as he still gets right-click down. And the tier 2 could actually die here. He's going to force back the Ember Spirit. Won't be able to find that kill, but if he can just get rid of this backdoor protection and have the wave push in, he can easily claim this tier 2.
That was really unlucky there. That was a really bad miss from Paz. He would have lived. I think he just left the Lycan. But oh well.
Dendi has himself a regen.
Yeah, it's the Ancients, like this Centaur, you know, he goes off lane, then he stacks Ancients, doesn't get anything, and now Lycan forms it as well.
Oh, look at this though.
He's gonna die.
Okay, never mind. Successfully baited Amos into a death.
It's for the Ember, right? Ember's really, really good at farming Ancients, I think.
Once he has a battle,
now he is,
right?
He's actually got his battle through.
But Dendi has just got him out. The Ice Blast over the top. When Tumble Man gets bursted down, Dendi now makes a leap away. Boogie with his Blink Dagger trying to get that initiation onto Dendi. He's running low on mana, but the bottle will be able to keep him up. Vanscore is running himself away from this Death Ward, will still die while Dendi barely gets himself over the cliff. Trixie doesn't have the range to be able to catch him out. And so in the end, 2 for 1 as they get the Ember Spirit, and Dendi, the important part, Dendi got out, which he was so low. If he had actually gone down, that would have been a really great fight for Fnatic.
Already Na'Vi up to the goal lead they had last game at some 30-40 minutes.
Top tower is under attack.
Little blinking action back and forth. Fnatic easily able to get himself out, but you're right, a 12,000 gold lead for Na'Vi and over a 5,000 experience lead as well.
Yeah, it's just they have to rely on this Ember again, and so I think it's going to be another game like last game, except this game they don't have a Chrono.
Right.
That's quite different. The Centaur is not having a good game. I think it's really hard to blame him as well because his laning was his lane was just so hard to play versus.
Yeah, he wasn't really set up for success, and Looks like they're going to take some time to ensure they can clear through this Ancient stack, which is going to get Matumba Man a little bit closer to that second Battle Fury here, and they can hope to turtle out from there, because one Battle Fury, as you guys said in last game, it just simply won't do the trick, right? You need that second Battle Fury to really be a better turtling force.
Yeah. Trick close to Zags as well.
So once they have that, a lot tankier, a lot more damage, but...
What's Funny gonna go? Dagon? Force Dash? Heals?
Yeah. Probably Dagon.
Dagon?
Yeah, to burst with the AA Blast.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the Eels as well, so he doesn't die from the Ember.
I feel like just the more defensive option would feel a bit better. They're going to try and catch out Trixie once again. Blinks away. And no opportunity to catch him out. The Ice Blast will hit Boogie here. Doubt they're going to go for the kill, though. Dendi is sitting on the side with the puck. They could make a long-range jump, but they decide against it. Meanwhile, the 3 heroes from Fnatic will force back, once again, the Rubik, who's doing a little bit of split pushing top lane. They are going to go in. Fox has already been silenced up. Trying to finish him off with the mech will keep him alive for the time being. Now he turns around, gets off a brain sap. And Dendi is forced back. FNG, who tried to come in and help out his allies, is just going to lose his life in the process. Boogie actually gets blown up with Funix initiation, gets the kill on the Centaur in exchange for the Ancient Apparition going down. And now the continued pursuit. Matumba Man trying to catch up with Funix. It does get off that one hit, but unfortunately somehow that chains didn't actually latch, and Funix should be free to blink himself away. And it's actually going to go straight for Paz. The orb, the extra bit of heal from that magic wand, not quite enough. He was so close to getting out that brain sap. They still get the return kill though. So in the end it is kind of worth it, except for the fact that Havost was not there in that team fight and just soloed up Roshan and now has an Aegis.
That was still, the Aegis made it so that even though the puck died, they didn't really matter.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, PKB now as well. But I'm just looking at this Bane in these fights, and it's so painful to play Bane in this game because you can't really use your spells in fights. Every time you try and use a spell, you're either gonna get silenced, or Puck's gonna phase shift, Storm's gonna jump away, Lycan's gonna jump away, or you're gonna get lifted by Rubik, or there's so many things, and the Bane animation on his spells is so disgustingly long. It's right. He needs to lift his hands and make some animation, and these heroes are really good against, as good as Grip is against Puck and Storm, this game, it's when he's on the back foot and can't be the one initiating with the blink, he basically can't use his spells.
Right, Na'Vi just have so many options to be able to kill the Grip. If one hero's caught out, if Dendi's held by the Grip, then there's 2 or 3 other ways to be able to stop it pretty easily.
Yeah.
So the BKB is almost finished up by Dendi, with the BKB also up on Havos. It seems like once they have this magic immunity, they've got everything they need to be able to push uphill. The Ember Spirit isn't quite ready with that double Battle Fury, and if they push uphill before that's up, it seems like the physical damage just isn't simply going to be enough to force Na'Vi away. So 26.5 minutes in, we've got still that 12,000 gold lead. It's growing very slightly for the side of Na'Vi. Fnatic are doing what they can to try and control the map. As you can see, they're actually going for a smoke pickoff somewhere here in this bottom lane, but it doesn't look like they'll find anybody, as Na'Vi are currently sitting, just farming up their own jungle for the most part. They may be running into Funnick here, and this is really good. Paz is in a great position to be able to catch him out. Fiend's Grip into the stomp with the double edge, and they easily pick off Funnick. Great kill for them, but they need a little bit more. Already, the Fiend's Grip has been stolen now by the Rubik. Havos is going to be forced to use his ultimate to run away from Trixie, and Vanscore will teleport away after a great steal there, making the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah, that was a good position by Paz. He was using his division he had from that wall perfectly, so. And by his smoke, effectively was smoked, so it's a good kill.
Now this game is just stalled out, waiting for Na'Vi to finish up the rest of the items, while Fnatic doing what they can to delay those item pickups and try and push this into the late game. But do they even have the late game? I mean, they're lacking a serious carry this time around. They don't have the Faceless Void, instead the Centaur, who isn't necessarily the worst in the late game, but he sure as hell isn't as good as a Faceless Void is. If Fnatic managed to draw this game out, do they even still have the late game advantage?
I still think they do. yeah, there's still hope for them. I mean,
Right.
it depends a lot on this fight that's gonna happen right now. Because if they can keep the Rex up and take a good fight here, then they have a good shot. Ember almost has a second battle fury. Mesa has also farms.
So close, but the tier 3 tower's already been taken down without much of a fight here from the side of Fnatic. Havos now popping his ultimate here a bit early. And unfortunately, with that constant debuff of the Vayne, making it a little bit harder for him to take down these Raxes. But it seems like Na'Vi, after that shapeshift, are just going to back themselves up. They got the tier 3, now they're going to go up to the tier 2 at the top lane, which is already so low. And just wait for the next shapeshift, I guess.
I think the most important for Fnatic is that they don't lose this Rax. Mid Rax could potentially be alright if they get a trade-off for it, like some kills or something like this, but losing a side lane I think would be... They need to wait for a bit more item before they can lose a Rax. A bit like last game basically.
Right, basically the double Battle Fury allowing you to really easily push down that lane that is always has the super creeps up. Ember Spirit can quickly clear through those with the double Battle Fury, but
yeah, it's very true what Boba said too earlier, like this time around they don't have this super counter initiation with Void, or actually both counter and initiation. Like Tree and Void, they don't have those guys this game. They have a Centaur and a Bane instead. And that's not the same. And at the same time Na'Vi has a Storm Spirit and a Puck that can jump the Ember before Sleight of Fist or after Sleight of Fist. So it's a very different situation.
Na'Vi now going to go straight for that range. Rax quickly getting here. Glyph is going to be forced. The most is already forced to pop his shapeshift. Ice Blast onto 2, and this is a beautiful initiation here from Na'Vi as they continue to move in. Vanscore is slept up in the back, but it doesn't matter too much. We have both the buybacks from Trixie as well as the Centaurs. They come back into this team fight. They need some extra kills off of this, and a support, it's not good enough. They get one, now going to get a secondary one off of the Bean script. Dendi just lets his support die. No reason for him to add extra fuel to the fire, as losing 2 supports in exchange for forcing 2 cores to buyback is a huge trade. The upside though, double Battle Fury is up for the Ember Spirit now.
This double Ember Battle Fury, that's their saving grace, man. It's gonna go one of those long games. They're gonna hope for a good crit.
Maybe. I just hope that Na'Vi try to force it once again. I don't think they should let the Aegis run out and then wait for the Aegis like they did last game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They need to keep up the pressure so this Ember doesn't get like a crit and buyback and stuff. And
we have Dendi looking to initiate from the side while Havos is going to be on the front. Already losing that Aegis. Ice Blast is going to be able to hit Trixie, and they're going to go for him first. He has no buyback. He's going to be left really exposed if he goes down here. They don't get any return kills. Trixie getting low enough will get caught. Dendi keeps on moving. Now going for the support. Takes down Hottie. On the Pots. He's already been orchided up. Stampede goes off, but they get a bit of distance. Still going to be caught by the telekinesis. They're going to turn onto the Ember Spirit instead. Stun goes off, and at least they get a return kill. Swaning's taken down by Boogie, but 4 for 1 so far, and it looks like they're going to lose that 5th hero as well as the slow. Trying to get close enough. Na'Vi need a little bit extra, but Centaur still managed to get himself out. Only 2 heroes up on the side of Fnatic, and this is sure to be a melee Rax. As soon as they got that Ember Spirit kill, that was so big for them because now there's nothing left to defend the base. Bane, oh, 2-man host off is going to be a great start, but they still need extra damage here, and the Bane is not really going to be enough. The Ice Blast finishes off that one Centaur. Bane immediately taken out. Hani gets cleaned up real quickly, and it looks like Na'Vi in one fell swoop just managed to win the game. Like, with those buybacks and that attempt by Fnatic to defend the base, they actually just inadvertently give up a second set of racks and possibly this straight-up game, as Fnatic still have another 20 seconds. Sure enough, GG called. Ani says it's all over, and Na'Vi will walk away with the win in this best of 3 for the ESL 1 New York European qualifier.
Yeah, they would lose the throne right there, even if they didn't call it, so.
I think if they picked Void instead of the Witch Doctor early, I think they could have salvaged this game. I think Void was the main reason, and Void is actually really good versus Lycan too, so.
And it would have been better having Void offlane than a Centaur this game, that's for sure.
Right.
At least the way they chose to lane it.
I'm not sure exactly why. If they had the opportunity to pick Void, they could have done it too, but they didn't. So.
Yeah, but they got